Hi everybody, it's Ade here from Skidmore Second-Hand Tyres. I've just been watching Doug from Pinetree Line Outdoors. He's a guy from Canada, does a great channel, and he goes to some fantastic places and makes some really good videos, very cinematic. And he was challenged to do a 5x5 bunker challenge, where if you were stuck in a bunker for bug out purposes or whatever, what five things would you take with you into the bunker? So 5 films, 5 TV shows, 5 bands, 5 books and 5 games, board games. And I thought, yeah, that sounds like a good challenge, nice and easy. It shouldn't be too hard to pick 5 of everything that you like, although it turns out it is sometimes. But my 5 are 5 bands. It would be Robert Johnson, anything by him, but there's only really 2. It's a double album box set of all of his work, and I just love it. I've been into Robert Johnson since I was about 14 or 15 when I first discovered the album King of the Mississippi Delta Blues, and he's been a great influence on an awful lot of people since. Then anything by the Beatles and by Roy Harper. I love him, he's my favourite pop star. I've collected all of his albums. I've got pretty much every one of them, I think, and you can mostly only find them in second-hand shops, or certainly when I started collecting them they were. And I sought them high and low for many years, and I just love the way he plays guitar. Anything by Bach. I think Bach is fantastic. I know exactly what note's going to come next, and I don't really know that much about music, but I love his work. And the Bonzo Dog Doodah Band. Again, it's one of those things that it's very hard to find any of their records second hand, which is always a good indicator. And a few years ago now, I found the triple CD set, and I just think it's fantastic. There's so much variety on there. Just that one box set would do me, really, in a lot of ways. My favourite films that I take with me are Brighton Rock, the original 1947 with Richard Attenborough, and Dr. Strangelove, and A Clockwork Orange. I think that's one of Doug's choices as well, actually, and The Blues Brothers, the first film, and also 2001: A Space Odyssey. I think that's a great film as well. Science fiction, and it doesn't do any harm to have a bit of science fiction in your life. Favourite books. Again, Brighton Rock. I just love the book. I've read it many times. One of the few books I've read over and over. And The Kon-Tiki Expedition by Thor Heyerdahl. I read that donkeys years ago. I saw the film a little while ago and made me want to go back to the book again. Humphrey Lyttelton's autobiography. It's just a pure ramble, a stream of consciousness, and I love the way he wrote it, and it just sums up the way he was, I think, as well. The History of Western Philosophy. This was a book that I started reading years and years ago. It's by Bertrand Russell. It's a great big thick book, and it's got loads and loads of stuff in it. And I lost it in one of my moves, and I'd like to finish it because I wasn't that far from the end, I don't think. And any book really which is personal account or personal accounts of anyone who fought during the Second World War or the First World War, really. Any of them, I've read them avidly. About the Spitfire pilots, dam busters, and anyone else that I could find. I've always done it for years and years, since I was a teenager and maybe before that. Yeah, TV shows. I've recently started watching stuff on the channels on Freeview because, let's face it, a lot of the modern stuff really doesn't appeal to me. So I've been getting into new tricks. I was lucky really because none of the stuff appealed to me in the first place when it came out. But new tricks, that one about the police Cold Squad with Dennis Waterman and that in, I've grown to enjoy actually, and it's good that it's been repeated because I didn't see any of the series when it was first out. And Dad's Army, Steptoe and Son, The Saint with good old Roger Moore, any of those series, and also Detectorists, which I think is an amazing piece of work by called Mackenzie Crook. I think it's fabulous. It's really do enjoy it. The last of the 5 things of 5x5 that you take into the bunker with you are board games. Now, I used to play them when I was a kid, but I've never really been much into playing stuff like chess and that. But I do remember quite liking a game called Take the Brain, which was sort of like a drafts stroke, couldn't really say chess game, which I quite enjoyed, which came out in the early 70s. Mastermind, one of those peg games where you have a logic game where you have to guess what's behind the hidden screen, and Trivial Pursuits, and Drafts, where you play it on a board with shot glasses, and I'd need a supply of alcohol to go with it as well. Every time you jump over one, you get to drink whatever it's in. So a bit of brandy and a bit of rum, a few, a good stock of rum and brandy, and I've played that game a few times, I'll tell you. And I think, since we're in a bunker, and perhaps undergoing an apocalypse, maybe it might be as well to bring along snakes and ladders to show any children that are born after the catastrophe that life is not a bed of roses, and there's ups and there's downs. So I think that would be a good one to teach the children after the born after the apocalypse, because obviously there's going to be a lot of repopulation needed. So that's my 5x5 done. I did this because Doug invited people to put their 5x5s in, and he didn't nominate anyone specifically, and I don't particularly like to nominate anyone specifically either, because I don't want to put anyone on the spot. But Spot the Dog, that's another book I need. Yeah, so if you fancy having a go, then by all means have a go, and hopefully I'll see what you come up with, because it'll be interesting. I think it's sort of, a little bit of something aside from what we normally see of each other. Give a bit of an idea about what we do when we're not doing what we film doing, if that makes any sense. So I'll just say thank you for watching, and I'll see you all soon. Cheerio.